What's up, everybody? I'm your host today, along with my business partners, Adam Menner and Dan Goodman, and we're here to bring you another strong episode of the Business of Strength podcast, where you can hear the interviews, tips, and tools to turn your passion for strength into a profitable business you will love. I'm excited because we haven't done a podcast together in a long time, so we got some great stuff for you today. We're going to do a little Q&A and some preview about the upcoming retreat we have, which reminds me, our next live event is our biggest and best of the year. That is the annual Strongest Year Gym Business Retreat. That's going down September 19th and 20th at the Canopy Hotel in beautiful sunny Scottsdale, Arizona. It was unbelievable last year. We're going to drop some knowledge bombs on everybody and tell you a little bit about it, tell some more stories. And the plus one the normal rate for that, the normal fee for a seat is going to be $7.99, which is a steal by itself for all the value that you get. 2 days of unbelievable workshops, lunches, cocktail parties, beer and wine socials, networking, everything for $800. Because you're an amazing listener to our podcast, we have a special doorbuster deal. We're going to give you a discount code to save $300. That discount code is Retreat24. Again, that's Retreat24. So if you go to bosretreat.com, all the info for the retreat is there. Use the discount code Retreat24. Save yourself $300. That makes the whole program $499. That is absolutely a no-brainer of a deal. If you want to improve your business, improve your systems, improve your processes, and learn how to scale your business to multiple gyms or just improve the business that you have, this is going to be the gym event of the year. And obviously, you get to come hang out with us in Scottsdale, Arizona for a couple days and have some fun. Boys, it's great to get the band back together. I feel like we haven't done this in months because we've been so busy. We've been doing tons of solo shows. It's so nice to see you. I see you guys every week, every day, but we haven't
We're
been on a cast in a while.
in the same office, just in three different rooms.
Yeah, yeah, exactly,
Exactly.
exactly. So, no, it's not. It's funny because obviously myself, Adam, and Dan literally see each other every day. We work together every day. We were out on a business offsite last week all day together. We have meetings together, but we have not had a real easy time syncing up the time to do podcasts together. We've been interviewing people. Dan did a great interview with Mark Fisher last week or a week before that, and it was really great. I've had Joe Hashie and some of the guys on, and Adam's done a bunch of interviews, and we've all just kind of like, oh man, I really want to be on. I was like, I had so much FOMO not being able to hang out and be on the call with Mark Fisher, but it's just the timing thing. It's just we're trying to get them done. We may want to make sure that we get stuff out, get content out for all of you who listen. So all right. Well, today we're going to talk about the retreat, right? So our biggest and best event of the year is our annual gym business retreat. And last year, we've been doing this now for a few years. We did the first one in 2019 here in New York, and we had kind of an awesome scavenger hunt type event. We had gyms from all over the world come in, and we spent 2 days of learning, and we were in Manhattan having fun with dinners and lunches. It was great, right? Obviously, we all know what happened the year after that. We ran virtual retreats for 2 years, and then we brought it back. We did the first retreat again, the first in-person retreat again back in New York. And then last year we wanted to go big. We wanted to bring back the excitement and the fun of doing a real mastermind retreat where people actually got out of their business, got to a cool location, and were able to clear their minds and kind of get to work. And so we landed on Scottsdale, Arizona, which is kind of like a really great. Well, one of the reasons is we know Dan likes the area and has a property there, but the real reason was because we know the weather's going to be good. And it was like when we were putting a retreat together, it was like, man, it sucks if you go someplace and it's like pouring rain the whole time. So we didn't want to go to Florida, right? And we've done a bunch of them here in the States and so forth. So I mean, you tell me, guys, like, what was your take on Arizona? That was my first time ever being to Scottsdale. I thought it was awesome. I thought the hotel was awesome. The place was awesome. I thought it was great.
I mean, I'm bipartial to Arizona. I think it's an awesome state. It's a it has a lot of similarity. The palm trees, the dry weather, the heat, the fitness culture. You got if you're into partying, they have that. If you're into outdoorsy stuff and hiking, they have that. So when I was out there with the family, we went to the Canopy Hotel, and I remember looking around. And I think I shot you guys a message from the rooftop, said,
Yeah.
"This is the spot. I've got the hotel for the retreat," and
Yep.
it worked out great. The Canopy there's in Old Town. There's a rooftop pool and just a cool vibe, and that's part of it too, right? Like, I mean, when you can match up business development and also being able to free up your mental sanity and clarity of just being in a
Yeah.
new place. Like, I know for us, for a long time, you come into the same four walls, the same gym, you see the same people every day. You don't even realize like how stale you can become, and just by changing the environment, go work at a library, go work at a coffee shop 5 miles away where nobody knows who
Sure.
you are, and all of a sudden it just starts, things start firing at a different rate. And I mean, you get people in the desert surrounded by other like-minded people, having coffee in a different environment, going for a hike at Camelback. It's a cool blend. It's also not, it has Southern California vibes, but without the Southern California price tags. So
Yeah.
it's a fun blend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I feel
thought it
you.
was fun.
You look at like we're in coaching, and it's a good point, Dan, just in terms of where communities are built. And in the coaching space, yeah, business strength is online. We work with people, luckily all over the world, but there's nothing better than building real relationships and being able to work through real issues in person. And I think that I don't care how many Zoom calls, podcasts, phone calls we all take on a weekly basis, but it's just like right there over a cocktail. Let's work through this issue, and that creates trust. And I think that's one thing that really makes the event awesome is that we
I mean,
we
I
develop.
think we had some of the best business consulting, like the best breakthroughs happened at lunch because like we would do lessons in the morning and then we'd all go to lunch and just for the people that want to come, the Canopy does a banger lunch. The food was
Yeah,
very good, like really great, and everybody was like, man, the lunch was fantastic. And we do awesome catered lunch, and we have like the whole cafeteria kind of to
yeah,
ourselves, this whole like area. And we're sitting at the tables like, coach, we got like pieces of paper, scrap paper out of the
Of
tables while we're
course,
eating
that's how
lunch,
it
like
always
helping people through the
goes.
problems. And
Last
you
year,
know,
the SYP retreat guest appearance was Mark McGuire.
yeah, yeah,
We didn't pay for his appearance, but he happened to be staying at the Canopy, and
yeah.
that was cool for any baseball
Everybody was
fans.
taking pictures with him. Yeah, yeah, no, it's super cool. So, I mean, look, I mean, so you know, obviously, education has been a cornerstone and a foundation of our business from day one. Myself being in education and being an educator, always visioned that we were going to hang our hats on skill development and education, and one of our core values being a commitment to personal excellence and growth, right? And that kind of goes along with it. So when you go to things like this, and the reason why gym owners should attend events like this is because, one, it's very difficult, as all of you know, to work on your business when you're inside of it. And because you're putting out fires all day. Like today, I got a lot of work done today, but the music was loud. I'm going to the bathroom. I wind up having like 4 or 5 conversations with a couple of employees, a couple of clients, right? It's not like I can just walk out. If I see a client face to face, I can just walk past them like they don't exist, right? So you're constantly being distracted when you're in your business. Two, for whatever reason, like Dan said, when you change your environment and you open up, you get that sunlight, fresh air, and you're outside of your gym, right? Your mind opens up. This is a fact. This is a scientific fact. Your brain opens up and it changes your brain chemistry and the way you can think. And all of a sudden, you start having these enlightened ideas. Three, I think it's also a great testing thing. If you haven't left your business, and the term I like to use is, mom or dad are home protecting the kids all the time, right? And you haven't like let them fledgling and kind of fly the coop a little bit, it's very difficult to know how your systems are running. The best litmus test for a business, or at least for me and Dan, was the first time we really took a trip and went away for a week, and we're like, all right, we're leaving. Like, hope this place don't burn to the ground. And obviously things were fine, right? We was just mostly worried, just like most parents, right? You leave your kids at home most of the time, things are going to be fine. And And the lastly is obviously the learning and education and the networking, right? I think that's tertiary to the rest of it. If you want to be a successful business person, you got to get out of your business. You got to open your mind up to your own personal growth and development. And why not come to a cool place, expense a little business, get a business expense, and have a little trip, have some fun, do some cool stuff. You get a great group of people. There's going to be 50, 60, 70 people there, right? All amazing gym owners and business entrepreneurs. We're gonna have lunch. We're gonna have some cocktails. We're gonna, a bunch of breakout groups left and went to different places for dinner and stuff like that. Friendships were formed. Some of us went hiking. Some people stayed for a few days with their family and went to resorts and played golf and stuff. I mean, there's nothing bad could ever come of that.
Yeah, you're totally right. I mean, I think one of the biggest hangups it's that most gym owners or personal trainers have is that you know they they might be in it for 5 years and they think it's just they need to do more sessions, or they're just one hire away, or they're one marketing campaign away, or they're just going to learn something they've learned before and it's nothing new. And it's like you said it best. I mean, you go out there in 2 days, and the cool thing about the way we run events is you are forced to do work while you're in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You are forced to take action. And so many people have the answers. Everybody listening to this is in the freaking gym space. How many, we all have clients that have the answers, that know what they need to do, that won't freaking do it.
Yes.
There are so many gym owners that know exactly the recipe. Hey, this is what you need to do to be successful, but they just won't fucking do it. Right.
Yes.
And at certain point, it might click when the pain gets severe enough, when the worry gets severe enough, when they're just sick and tired of not having a predictable income. Maybe then and now it's time to say, you know what, I could do this. And I know for us, when we started really going out to masterminds, we always had a lot of self-belief in what we were doing in the training product and things like that. But it was getting around people that were a few steps ahead of us or a lot of steps ahead of us. And very rarely did you look at somebody and be like, there's definitely times when we'd see like a business owner or a coach be like, wow, that person is really doing it at a high level. And I might not be there yet, but I think we can, if we follow in their footsteps and take their plan and just follow the yellow brick road, we can do it. And just start taking action with that. And that's the cool part about being in a room with other people that are on a similar mission, is that you're forced to take action with those people in those 2 days. I mean, think about, for most people listening to this, if you had 2 full days to market, sell, and develop your business, I'm talking like 10 hours for 2 days. Most gym owners don't do 20 hours of work on their business in 2 months.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. And it's not like one of the things that I've heard other gym owners say to me, and I never thought this way, because, it's not like I never thought like, oh my God, that guy's so much smarter than me. I can't do things like that. It was almost all the moves that we've been able to make by going to masterminds and hiring coaches and so forth. There's literally like, most of the best stuff was like a small little tactic or a focal point. Like, damn, we were just focused on the wrong shit. We had the wrong numbers we were looking at, or
just redirect.
There was a system. It's a redirection, and it's like, again, like, what to do. Everybody knows they need more leads. Everybody knows they need to improve their sales process. Everybody knows that they have to optimize their schedule and get more out of their employees. Everybody knows that payroll is our biggest expense. Okay, right. So, but how you actually pull the levers and pinpoint those focal points into action is really what we specialize in, and helping you. It's like, hey, maybe you didn't know that there was this simple referral system that we've been using that's crushing it, or that there's some of the stuff that Adam's been doing with our scorecard, that hey, you can digitize your scorecard, and you're just looking at the wrong numbers, right? And a lot, and one of the things like I get from Dan, I'll steal from Dan too, is like, look, if you want to make more money, you got to look at your money every day. If you want to get more leads in your gym, and we just got off a console call before we hopped on this, and we just set up the scorecard. It's like, look, if you want to get a consistent amount of memberships, you got to be on the scorecard every day. You need 20 leads, five consults, 2 memberships a week for the next 6 months, and we're going to crush it. We're going to hit the goals. It's a small gym, small private gym, and it's like, And you're just not, it's that simple. It's that simple. If you got the numbers in front of you and you look at them every day, and then every single meeting with Dan, what's the goal for this week? Five consults, six
It,
consults,
yeah,
it's
it's
like,
simple. It's not easy though. And the thing that I
yes,
just like to land
yes,
the plane on the original point I was trying to make is that you most people they'll look at it and go, man, it's 3 days away from the business. It's this amount of money, whatever.
yeah,
They're trying to nickel and dime their way in saving to make saving a couple hundred
yes,
bucks to get this bigger return. Whereas like you have to invest for a larger foundation for a bigger
mm-hmm.
return. And the path of least resistance is you continuing to do just more of what you're doing.
Yeah,
That is the path of least resistance. It's not you being lazy. It is you being unwilling to attack the things that you're not good at.
yeah. Like marketing, obviously, we spend a lot of money on marketing now, and we were always kind of hesitant to spend money on marketing because we always thought of it as an expense. And then as we hired coaches and we saw what other people are doing with a real marketing budget, and it doesn't mean that it has to be all ads, but just a
No.
budget for community stuff, or whether it was paying somebody to manage the emails or whatever it was, right? There's a lot of ways in which you could spend money on your marketing, including ads. But once we saw what people were doing with a real budget that was consistent, they had a real global marketing plan, and they had like initiatives set up every month, and they had a real focal point of like, this is what our marketing looks like year round. I was like, holy smokes. And it's like,
Yeah.
and I remember the first couple of months we started spending real money on marketing. We were like, oh, Jesus Christ.
It
And then, but all of
hurts.
a sudden, the faucet opens up and all of a sudden you go from getting like, 2, 3, 4, 5 leads a week to
What
15,
about
20 leads a day. It's like, oh, now it's
what
working,
about even, I could lay up Adam with this. It's like Adam is, he's in charge of our schedule and trainer development. Again, path of least resistance is hiring part-time people. People feel comfortable hiring part-time people because they're cheap. Adam, is it more fun to train up somebody that's full-time with with a real resume, or part-time people that have one foot in the door and one foot out?
Yeah, of course, the former, and to your point, both of you guys is also, for the listeners here is the end goal for everybody is the same, right? Make more money, make a bigger impact, create real careers for our coaches. But one thing that's super unique is it's live time of what we're doing. The marketing that Joe's running right now, July 17th, probably will not be the same in 3 months, 6 months, a year.
yeah,
And the leadership style that Dan and I have are developing coaches, looking at scorecards, finances, it's going to change. And when you come and you work with us, that's what's so unique too, is that, hey, this is what we're doing. This is what used to work, but here's some adjustments you can make. Oh, you're here. Let us
yeah,
meet where you are. Let's make those adjustments. And then we'll get you up to speed with where we're at right now. So the end goal is the same, but I think it's unique in that, hey, we're in it every day and we're showing you guys, this worked, but this didn't. Do this,
Mm-hmm.
don't do that.
Totally.
yeah. I mean, look, and let's talk about, specifically for the event, right? Like, it's awesome. 2 days working on your business. You're in a room full of other savages, right? These are other business gym owners, entrepreneurs. Some of them, we got a bunch of them, 7-figure gyms, right? Our keynote speaker this year, Devin Gage, is an absolute freakazoid in the gym space. He's one of the most risk tolerant humans that I know, and he was willing to come out and take some huge swings, and he scaled himself 7 gyms inside of 18 months. And he's a sharp business guy. He's going to break down how he did it in that short period of time and some of the mindset processes and people moves that he made to make that happen. And it's like, man, if I could go back in time and talk to the 28-year-old Joe who started Varsity House in 2006, 29 when I started, right? And I could say, hey man, like there's a couple of guys out there that have been there, done that, and have this like resume of like proof of process. And if they could give me the cliff notes for, 500 bucks, right? Like I would have bought them all, right? And I think about like some of the guys who are running big masterminds now. There's guys out there that are charging 50,000 plus to be in a group. This is 500 bucks. This is low level, and we're basically giving you a cheat code of a combined over 30 years of practice in the realm of strength and conditioning. So plus all the other gyms. There's like I said, there's going to be other people in there with one gym. There's going to be people with startups. There's going to be people with 4, 5, 6, 7 gyms. So you're going to have this multitude of scale that you can see. And I think one of the things that Dan, myself, and Adam have always talked about, right? As if I can see it, and I can see somebody else doing it, that affirms that I can. And I always just, it's like, man, I know we got this thing here that's working really good. And then I meet somebody like Devin, or I meet, like our friend Mark Ennis, right? At Power Strength, right? And I see what they're doing. It's like, all right, or TJ, right? And it's like, and I see these guys, like, oh, they're doing that. It's like, oh, all right. And we do that. That would work great in our business, right? And you pull ideas from them. That's like hitting the, warp drive. That's like, going like Star Trek on you here, or, but it's like hitting the warp speed, because now I don't have to make the mistakes and drag out 3 years of making the mistakes and waste 3 years with a shitty onboard, or waste 3 years, doing all my emails by myself and stuff like that. It's like, oh my God, I didn't know that there was this automation program, or I didn't know that there was this, we could change some of our sales process or simplify it. Right. And that's really what it's about. It's hitting the fast forward button on your business. So, for everybody that's listening, again, it's not a sales pitch here. We want to really talk about what it is and what you're getting, but it's like, if you're stuck in the mud in any way, shape, or form with your employees, your personal growth, your business, you're not making the money you want to make, you're literally going to be surrounded by, 50 other people, and get the cheat code from each of them. Because the best part about the events that we run is it's all collaborative stuff. The works the it's not just you sit in a lecture and take notes. They're all workshop based. So we're actively engaging you to try and do stuff in the workshop. We're going to create marketing. We're going to create sales processes. We're going to outline step by step the action steps that you need to leave before you leave. Dan runs the last workshop, right? Is the Get Shit Done workshop. And he's going to outline and press everybody to write down all the key things, the top things that they're going to get done and what they're going to take action on before they leave. So you walk out the door with a blueprint. And it's like, all right, if I could just go fix these 3 or 4 things, I'm going to really improve my business. So that's what it is, and why you should come. And then, like, let's go over some highlights from last year, guys. Like, let's talk about some of, like, what were some of the, like, I don't know, what were some of your best moments besides the pool party? and then besides the cocktail party was legendary. Yeah.
Adam, you want
They
to
had
go
to
first?
they had to restock the bar like 3 times.
Yeah, I got fun. That's off the podcast though. That's off. That's
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the best learning experience was more so on our end. I just look at where we were in years past. It's like every problem, every feeling that you're experiencing as a gym owner, meaning like, oh, I just can't get there, or I'm stuck in this process, or as Dan alluded to before, it's until there's you need it, right? Because you feel like, okay, if I don't do this, maybe I have to change my career. It's at some point in time, all of us felt that, whether it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, whatever the case may be. And you look at the evolution of just staying the course. Have we made mistakes? Oh my gosh. Have we not done the right thing in terms of a hiring? Sure. Running the one marketing play? Sure. But the fruition of just staying the course, having the right intentions, and here we are on stage, and this year with all of our staff, and they're going to be, present with us as well, is like, oh my goodness, like, this is what it takes. It was no special magic potion. It was no tactic. It was no guru that we spoke to. It was just hard work. And that's what led us to where we were. And so I think my favorite moment was just having each of us on stage and presenting and having the opportunity to teach other gym owners what's working and what's not.
I mean, yeah, I love that. And my highlight obviously is the fun stuff outside the actual conference, like, outside the actual, mastermind itself. I got to spend time with 2 of our friends, Noel and Sana. I went for a hike with them. We went and hiked Camelback. Noel and Sana have been friends of ours for years. They were consulting clients for a long time, and part of the BOS for a long time. And I got to go spend some personal time with them and talk to them. And it's like,
They
again,
flew
like
all
you
the
said,
way from Amsterdam.
They flew all the way from Amsterdam, and it was nice to see them and spend time with them, and chatting about everything else but the gyms, in a sense, at that point. We went out for an awesome dinner the one night after the first night of the workshop. We went out to a really great Mexican place that Dan knows. What's the name of that place again? Dan, I love that place.
Hacienda.
Hacienda. That place is amazing. And for all the tequila stuff, they have a tequila goddess who's like an expert in tequila, and we lost our mind over that. And but just like being at dinner, connecting with other gym owners, being able to build your tribe of people, and it's like, man, like half those people now, like we're on like a weekly call basis, and it's like you become friends with these people. So for the people that attend it, it's like a lot of the times, like I felt, at least personally myself, I'm the only entrepreneur in my small peer circle of friends. I don't have a lot of entrepreneurial friends. They all have, some of them have blue collar jobs, some of them have like office jobs or whatever it is, but I'm the only like real entrepreneur. So like, my entrepreneur friends are all like people that I've met, well, my partners, and then like people I've met at masterminds and workshops, right? Because I haven't been able to find other friends who understand like the entrepreneurial journey, the pain and suffering that we go through as entrepreneurs. And this was a great part of it. So that's my favorite part, is that building that peer group, building those relationships. And you see like what happened last year, like how many friendships were built. And like we see like you all to all the listeners out there, you don't know some of the people personally, but we have a bunch of gym members in our consulting group and a lot of attendees that came to the specific retreat, and like we see collaborations happening, we see them going to each other's gyms, doing in-service visits and things like that. And it's like it starts to become, it's not just Joe, Dan, and Adam teaching lessons to people. It's, hey, I met these other really cool gym owners who are not that far away from us. Why don't we go take the team over there, and we're going to share a day or two each as teams, and they're going to bring their team here on this day, we're going to bring our team there, and now we have this collaboration where it's like we're learning and fostering each other. And it's not just like they're waiting for Joe to give them some new marketing initiative. It's like, no, let me go to this other gym that I made friends with and meet with them. So that, to me, that's the best part of it.
Am I going, or are we going to move on? We're going to do it. Yeah. Yeah. So I want to say there's a lot of highlights, and
hanging out in the house.
It's a year removed, but it was also our first time doing an event like this outside of our own backyard. So that added a different element. But the day that before day one, so we had some of the sponsors the night before, and we were hanging out, and I almost had like, game day jitters where I'm like, I need, it was great to see everybody. It was like, all right, you got to get the hell out of here, because I got to get focused about what's going on. And the next morning, I remember, we all got up. Big Mike was there, Tony was there, and the three of us, we all got up, we worked out, and drove us there. And I just started blasting Still DRE on the highway to the event. Yes. It's like, I don't really get to compete doing much anymore. And, took that as a memorable, like in my mind, I remember pulling up to the event being like, we're about to put on a world-class performance and give everybody way more than they ever expected these next 2 days. And, because of that, we had to take more space this year, because if you do good work, you don't really need to, obviously we're promoting it and things like that, but the people that were there last year are not coming alone. They're coming with full staffs. They're coming with friends. They're bringing family and going, hey, this thing going on here is no joke. And, the level of intent and care, the day before we had a drive walkthrough and a run through of each talk, the way it's going to go down, and, just seeing it unfold. Like, of course, you see the breakthrough moments, you have the breakouts, you see, learning from you guys as you're speaking, and just
people crying and stuff. It was powerful.
Big Mike rocked his presentation, and I sat there, awesome. Like, holy shit, that was amazing. And TJ Lopez rocked it, and now this year we've got different keynotes, and you mentioned Devin, we've got more sponsors than last year, and just the development from we've got a tall order this year, because last year the preparation that went into it, the preparation that went into it was immense, and we rocked it. And I just remember the preparation is really what I remember the most, and seeing it come to fruition and play out over those 2 days is the most memorable to me.
That was great. And, all right, so let's go through some of the specifics, right? So, first, we'll talk about some of the speakers. Obviously, myself, Dan, and Adam are going to be talking, along with Big Mike will be there. So I'm going to give you, all the best plays that we've run in the last year. So I basically take in all of our marketing from last September to now and put them together into a compilation of the best stuff that's generated the most leads, the most money in the last year. And I'm going to give you the blueprint. You're literally going to walk away with a packet of plays. And I'm going to get it all organized and set up so that you literally have the ideas, the emails, everything, right? So that by itself is worth a few $1,000. Okay. Adam's going to talk to you about how we're managing our team and how we've scaled the team, scaled the processes of the team, optimized the team, and gone through, um, you know, a variety of changes over the last year in terms of personnel and structure. And it's no easy task when you're scaling. And he's done an amazing job there. Okay. Dan's going to be talking on leadership, and Dan, you want to give him a little clue of what you're chatting
Yeah,
about?
yeah. So I mean, I'm going to talk about is a couple different things. I mean, you have um, leadership with your team and leadership with your community, and how the two coincide with one another. I mean, the what happens on the gym floor and that connection between coach and client is the most critical one. And I don't even mean it just from like an X's and O's results standpoint. It's really from a delivery standpoint, and having coaches that are impassioned to get results, best hour of the day, predictable training experience. And if it is predictable, the benefit that's in store for them, and how it's kind of the yin and yang in your business. If you have a steady coaching team, if you have an impassioned coaching team, if people have like open book knowledge of where you're at as a business and where you're trying to go, and if you get there, what's in it for them, you know, your attrition level and your ability to ascend client values, the two coincide. And I'm going to be giving people a pretty in-depth look at how we do it and how we're continuing to improve upon it. Obviously, I have the support of both of you guys, where you're really running a business, you're marketing a training business, so I don't have to worry too much about that. And obviously Adam, from a coaching operational standpoint, it really allows me to focus on envisioning ways to pull unused capacity out of our team. And every time we pull unused capacity out of our team, we make more money. And
Sure.
we also, the client experience gets better because we're attracting better coaches. Really,
Yes.
that's what's been able to happen, and it is scalable. Recruiting is something that
Yep.
can be taught. Pulling unused capacity out of people, I personally do not think, yes, if you can hire somebody, batteries included, it's great, but I do believe that intrinsic motivation is important, but I do believe that if you can hire somebody where there's great structure and a great team in place, even if that team is just you and maybe one other person, um, you can pull a lot out of that person. So you can pull stuff out of them that they might not have even known existed. So I do believe that I do believe it could be taught, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Onto
great
players.
players. We always say better players make better plays, but better players in shit systems can't make the plays, right? So you
Exactly.
gotta you
Exactly.
gotta have you gotta have the right fit, right? And you see that all the time in professional sports, where like somebody who was not performing well goes to another team and then blows up and excels, right? Because they got into a better system, they had more structure, and it was maybe the right system for them. And I think that's been great. Mike's going to do a great talk too. Mike killed it last year. I think Mike's talk was probably the highlight of the weekend for us. I mean, it was a standing ovation, right? Which is like, I was like, dude, crushed it, right? And so he's going to talk about how to sell, 100 members fast without, ads or spending money. So kind of talk about a lot about how we do it. It's a kind of a 1-2 punch with some of the stuff that Adam does on the defensive side here. But, Mike is in charge of Mike owns the sales process and is in charge of the sales result. And he's done a phenomenal job. We got some really great guest speakers. Our great friend Tony Smith, again, coming down from the Garage Gym in Canada. Tony's got 3 gyms up in Canada, and he's a savage. He's a SWAT team leader and captain for over a decade. His specialty is leadership, community, and developing humans. And he's gonna MC the event. And he's gonna talk about his SWAT team or SWAT team's leaders' key to building a great community, which again is an amazing opportunity to learn from somebody who has not just gym experience, because obviously he's a big fitness guy now, but has like crazy real world experience, like hunting down bad guys, kicking down doors, and leading people into life and death situations, not, personal trainer stuff. You know what I mean? So this is, he's got a very different perspective on things. Obviously, we talked about Devin Gage. Devin is the founder of Gage Strength and Engage Personal Training. He's a good friend of ours. He's one of the absolute best gym owners in the country. He's one of the smartest entrepreneurs that I know. We're hanging out with Devin again this week. I always get excited to see Devin because I know we're going to learn something and we're going to have an engaging conversation. And he's just a great guy. And he's going to give you the blueprint on how he opened up 7 gyms in 18 months. And he did it. He did 4 of them, 5 of them in the local community. And he did 1 in California. He's in the Philadelphia area. He did 1 in Cali, 1 in Florida. And he just said, F it. He's like, my systems are good. My people are good. I think we can do it. And he did it. We got Mike Lissy coming in from Ignite. Mike's a serial entrepreneur. He owns 2 gyms, RAF and NXT4. He was sick and tired of working with agencies and so forth that underdelivered. And he took it upon himself to learn and create an agency to help gym owners automate and systemize their businesses. So he specializes in CRM automation, and he's going to basically give you the blueprint of how to automate your way right to the bank. And automations, I don't even know if we can run our business without it anymore, because it's just every little touch point now matters so much, right? Every layer of communication matters so much, from the speed, right? The automations are the constant. Obviously, I control the outward messaging and the marketing. Then you have Adam on the defensive side, where it's like the actual text, the emails and the calls, the clients' handwritten notes and the little details. You need all the layers when you get to a certain level, right? You can do rogue marketing and rogue sales and rogue training from 0 to 250K. You got to have to put some business behind it to 500. To get to $1 million, 1.5, 2 million, every detail matters. Every detail matters. So Mike's going to really help you break that down and show you what we're doing there. Obviously, our sponsors, we got Power Athletes, Simmons Media, Ignite coming back this year, Elite FTS coming back. Anchor gave me the thumbs up that they're coming back. So we're going to have some great sponsors again this year. And I got a lot more on the line that we've been speaking to that want to be part of this great event. And it's just going to be awesome. And I think, like, when I look back at like all the events that Dan and I went to years ago, and that obviously now we go to with Adam, a lot of these events, and it's like, man, I always wanted an event. Like, what I always thought events needed was a lot less fluff and just lecturing and more action. And I think we've done a great job with our events of combining ideas and like theory, and then putting that theory into action, and like actually taking an idea or something that we worked on and getting people to do it in a workshop setting, working together in breakout groups, getting small groups together in the room, having them create a piece of marketing or a piece of sales process or something like that, and doing it, right? Have them work on their schedules right there. Like, Adam did a great one at our trainer school. He was helping people organize their schedule and get their pricing sheets organized and stuff like that. Those things make a big difference, because when you leave with a tangible thing. Like, you literally, I have this new thing. Like, our newest consulting client, Anthony, we did his price sheet. We did his price sheet on Friday. He used it on Monday. He made 3 sales already this week. It's the best week he's had in a long time, just because he had a new framed focus with better framed prices and a nice price sheet that looked professional. and he was able to execute on it immediately. And that speed is key, right? Because how many gym owners listen to this podcast and you're like, this all sounds great, but I'm so busy. I'm going to get a head full of ideas, and it's just more shit I can't execute on because I don't have the time. Yes, there's going to be some of that because everybody knows they got a lot of shit they need to do, but you're going to definitely leave with 4 or 5 things that are done and ready to go that you can just plug and play. Like, again, you take the marketing packet I give you and it's just like, run a play, pick one and run it, So, any more highlights, any more ideas, anything else? I mean, what else is there, gang? Come hang out for 2 days, work on your business, hang out with Team Varsity House, Team Business of Strength. We're about as real as it gets when it comes to gym business masterminds because this, I've kind of been using a phrase the last few months, and I think it might be the catchphrase for the retreat. But we're living it, loving it, and growing it. We're doing it right now. We're live. This is not some theory. We didn't give up the gym thing to go all in on influencer, gym business guru, right? I don't come out in a 3-piece, Yves Saint Laurent suit and with the money gun and stuff like that. It's like, no, this is that'd be fun though. And it's like this. I'm not taking pictures out in front of the canopy with my Bentley, right? This is about as real as it gets. All real tactics, all real gym owners, no influencers talking. These are people that we know and trust and that are doing the same stuff that are going to get up there and show you exactly what they're doing right now. This is what I did this summer. These are the plays I'm running right now. This is the 4th quarter plan that I'm running right now in the gym, right? And I'll have that ready for you guys, and it's going to be awesome. So if you want to come hang with us, spend 2 days in Arizona, get a great retreat outside of your business, networking, learning, fun stuff, lunches, cocktail pool party, dinner with friends, build your tribe of entrepreneurs and business buddies, as I like to say. Come to Arizona September 19th and 20th at the Canopy Hotel. If you don't want to stay at the Canopy, that's fine too. There's some people, there's some big resorts in the area. I'm staying at the Scottsdale Princess. That place is money, right? There's a bunch of other spots near there that are super nice, right? If you, depending on what your budget is too, you could stay there. The Canopy is actually very reasonable. It's right in the heart of downtown, Old Town, Scottsdale. So there's so much to do. You get to see the old town. It looks like an old Wild West town. If you like hiking, there's tons of hiking around there. Or you can make a 4-hour trip up north and go to the Grand Canyon, which I did last year with my wife and son. And we went all the way up to Flagstaff and Scottsdale. We went from Scottsdale to Sedona to Prescott to Flagstaff, and it was beautiful, beautiful country up there, and it's a great time. So don't forget, go to bosretreat.com. Use the code RETREAT24 to save $300 right now. We're going to see you in a few weeks out in Arizona, and I hope to see all of you there. We want to help you grow. We want to help you turn your passion for strength into a profitable business that you can be proud of, that you love going to work every day like we do. And it's never going to be easy, but it can be something that you absolutely love and you're proud of it. It could be a lot easier than what you're doing right now. So
cool.
Peace out. This is the Business of Strength. See you in a couple weeks.